residential electrical systems, a common code violation arises from improperly implemented multi-wire branch circuits. A multi-wire branch circuit, often abbreviated MWBC, uses two or more ungrounded conductors, sometimes called hot wires, that share a single neutral conductor. The neutral conductor's role is to carry the unbalanced current back to the source. The specific code violation in the situation you described involves two number 8 ungrounded conductors connected to a 2-pole 50-amp breaker for a cooktop, and a number 12 conductor connected to a 20-amp breaker for a refrigerator, all potentially sharing a single neutral conductor. The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 250.148b, addresses this situation. It mandates that each ungrounded conductor in a multi-wire branch circuit must have its own separate neutral conductor. The problem with sharing a neutral arises from the potential for overloading the neutral conductor. If the neutral conductor is undersized, it can overheat, posing a fire hazard. To understand why this happens, consider how current flows in a multi-wire branch circuit. The neutral conductor carries only the unbalanced current, which is the difference between the current flowing on each of the ungrounded conductors. However, if one of the ungrounded conductors carries significantly more current than the others, the neutral conductor can become overloaded. In this specific scenario, the two number 8 conductors are supplying a cooktop that is protected by a 50-amp breaker, while the number 12 conductor is supplying a refrigerator protected by a 20-amp breaker. The cooktop can potentially draw a significant amount of current, close to 50 amps, while the refrigerator will draw a lesser amount, closer to 15 to 20 amps. The code requires that the size of the neutral conductor must be adequate to carry the maximum unbalanced load. With a 50-amp cooktop and a 20-amp refrigerator, the unbalanced current could be significant. In this case, a number 12 neutral conductor is insufficient. It's important to note that in older installations it was more common to find shared neutrals, but modern electrical codes have become stricter about separating neutrals to enhance safety. The solution is to install a separate neutral conductor for each ungrounded conductor. For the two number 8 conductors, a number 8 neutral conductor or larger should be used. For the number 12 conductor, a number 12 neutral conductor should be used. This ensures that each circuit has its own dedicated neutral path, eliminating the risk of overloading a shared neutral. Furthermore, it is important to identify all multi-wire branch circuits within an electrical panel. This identification helps prevent accidental overloading of the neutral conductor during future circuit modifications or additions. Proper identification can be achieved through labeling or tagging each circuit. In addition to the sizing of the neutral conductor, it is also important to ensure that all connections are properly made and that the neutral busbar in the electrical panel is adequately sized to accommodate all of the neutral conductors. Loose connections can create heat and increase resistance, further contributing to the risk of overloading the neutral conductor. It is always recommended to consult with a qualified electrician when dealing with electrical wiring, especially when dealing with multi-wire branch circuits. A qualified electrician can properly assess the situation, identify any code violations, and implement the necessary corrections to ensure the safety of the electrical system. To further clarify, consider a scenario where both the ungrounded conductors of the 50-amp cooktop circuit are drawing their maximum current, 50 amps each. If they are on opposite legs of a 240-volt supply, and if both are pulling their maximum of 50 amps each, the net current on the shared neutral would be minimal. However, if only one leg is heavily loaded, the neutral will carry the unbalanced current. The refrigerator, drawing its 20 amps on a separate 120-volt circuit, also contributes to the neutral current. The key here is the potential for overload. Even if the usual load seems low, the possibility of both appliances drawing significant current simultaneously mandates a properly sized neutral. Another important aspect to consider is voltage drop. An undersized neutral conductor can cause excessive voltage drop, which can negatively impact the performance of appliances. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage of the appliance is lower than the voltage at the electrical panel. This can cause appliances to operate inefficiently or even malfunction. By using a properly sized neutral conductor, you can minimize voltage drop and ensure that appliances receive the correct voltage. The NEC provides guidance on the appropriate size of conductors for different ampacities and distances. It's essential to refer to these tables to determine the correct conductor size for each circuit. For example, NEC Table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their size and insulation type. In addition to the neutral conductor, it's also important to ensure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained. The grounding system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. The grounding system should be connected to a ground rod or other approved grounding electrode. All metal parts of the electrical system, such as metal conduit and equipment enclosures, should be bonded together to create a continuous ground path. It is also crucial to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with local electrical codes and regulations. These codes and regulations are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. In many jurisdictions, a permit is required for electrical work, and the work must be inspected by a qualified electrical inspector. These inspections help to ensure that the work is performed safely and correctly. To summarize, the key takeaways regarding multi-wire branch circuits and shared neutrals are: firstly, NEC section 250.148. B requires a separate neutral conductor for each ungrounded conductor in a multi-wire branch circuit. Secondly, sharing a neutral conductor can lead to overloading, overheating, and fire hazards. Thirdly, the neutral conductor should be sized to carry the maximum unbalanced current between the ungrounded conductors. Fourthly, an additional neutral conductor of at least the same size as the ungrounded conductors should be installed. Fifthly, all connections should be properly made and tightened to prevent loose connections. Sixthly, the grounding system should be properly installed and maintained to provide a path for fault current. Seventhly, all electrical work should be performed in accordance with local electrical codes and regulations. Eighthly, a qualified electrician should be consulted when dealing with electrical wiring. Ninthly, voltage drop can be an issue if the neutral is undersized, leading to inefficient appliance operation. And tenthly, proper labeling and identification of multi-wire branch circuits are crucial for future maintenance and modifications. Now let's delve a bit deeper into the specifics of conductor sizing and ampacity. The ampacity of a conductor refers to the maximum amount of current that it can safely carry. The ampacity of a conductor is affected by several factors, including the size of the conductor, the insulation type, the ambient temperature, and the number of conductors bundled together. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacity of conductors based on these factors. When sizing conductors, it is important to consider both the ampacity of the conductor and the voltage drop. Voltage drop is the reduction in voltage that occurs as current flows through a conductor. Excessive voltage drop can cause appliances to operate inefficiently or even malfunction. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, you can use the following formula: voltage drop equals 2 times K times I times D divided by Cm, where K is the constant for the conductor material, I is the current in amps, D is the distance in feet, and Cm is the circular mils of the conductor. The circular mils of a conductor is a measure of its cross-sectional area. The larger the circular mils, the lower the resistance of the conductor. The NEC provides tables that list the circular mils of different conductors. In addition to conductor sizing, it is also important to consider the type of overcurrent protection device that is used to protect the circuit. An overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, is designed to trip and interrupt the flow of current if the current exceeds a certain level. The overcurrent protection device should be sized to protect the conductor from overheating and causing a fire. The NEC provides guidance on the appropriate size of overcurrent protection devices for different types of circuits. It is also important to ensure that the overcurrent protection device is properly installed and maintained. Overcurrent protection devices should be tested periodically to ensure that they are functioning properly. Now let's address some common misconceptions about multi-wire branch circuits. One common misconception is that multi-wire branch circuits are inherently dangerous. While it is true that multi-wire branch circuits can be dangerous if not properly installed and maintained, they can also be a safe and efficient way to distribute power. The key is to follow the NEC requirements and ensure that all connections are properly made. Another common misconception is that it is always necessary to install a separate neutral conductor for each ungrounded conductor in a multi-wire branch circuit. While this is generally the safest approach, there are some exceptions. For example, if the load on the multi-wire branch circuit is balanced, the neutral conductor may not need to be as large as the ungrounded conductors. However, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician to determine the appropriate size of the neutral conductor. Another critical aspect of electrical safety, often overlooked, is the proper use of arc fault circuit interrupters, or AFCIs. AFCIs are designed to detect dangerous arcing faults, which can be a major cause of electrical fires. Arcing faults occur when electricity jumps between two conductors, creating a high-temperature arc. AFCIs are required in many areas of the home, particularly in bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. AFCIs should be tested monthly to ensure that they are functioning properly. To test an AFCI, simply press the test button on the device. If the AFCI trips, it is working properly. If the AFCI does not trip, it should be replaced. In addition to AFCIs, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are also essential for electrical safety. GFCIs are designed to protect people from electrical shock. GFCIs are required in areas where there is a risk of water exposure, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor locations. GFCIs should also be tested monthly to ensure that they are functioning properly. To test a GFCI, simply press the test button on the device. If the GFCI trips, it is working properly. If the GFCI does not trip, it should be replaced. When working with electrical wiring, it is always important to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on it. Use insulated tools and wear rubber gloves. Never work on electrical wiring in wet conditions. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Another important aspect to consider is the proper use of extension cords. Extension cords should only be used temporarily. They should not be used as a permanent substitute for permanent wiring. Extension cords should be properly sized for the load that they are carrying. Overloaded extension cords can overheat and cause a fire. Extension cords should also be inspected regularly for damage. Damaged extension cords should be replaced. Finally, it is important to keep electrical panels and equipment clear of obstructions. Electrical panels and equipment should be readily accessible in case of an emergency. Do not block electrical panels with furniture or other items. Keep flammable materials away from electrical panels and equipment. Regular inspections and maintenance are crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of your electrical system. Schedule regular inspections by a qualified electrician to identify and address any potential problems. Pay attention to any warning signs such as flickering lights, sparking outlets, or burning smells. By taking these precautions, you can help to prevent electrical fires and electrical shock. And one more thing, the proper bonding of metal components within an electrical system is vital for safety. Bonding refers to the process of connecting all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a continuous ground path. This includes metal conduit, equipment enclosures, and metal water pipes. Proper bonding ensures that if a fault occurs, the fault current will flow back to the source and trip the circuit breaker or fuse, preventing electrical shock. The NEC provides detailed requirements for bonding electrical systems. It is important to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly bonded. Another important safety consideration is surge protection. Surges are sudden increases in voltage that can damage electronic equipment. Surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, are designed to protect electronic equipment from surges. SPD should be installed at the main electrical panel and at individual outlets where electronic equipment is plugged in. SPD should be replaced periodically as they can degrade over time. In addition to surge protection, it is also important to protect electronic equipment from power outages. Power outages can damage electronic equipment and cause data loss. Uninterruptible power supplies, or UPSs, are designed to provide backup power to electronic equipment during power outages. UPS should be used to protect critical electronic equipment such as computers, servers, and medical equipment. And one more important thing to consider: the proper use of smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Smoke detectors are designed to detect smoke and provide an early warning of a fire. Carbon monoxide detectors are designed to detect carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas that can be deadly. Smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors should be installed in every home. They should be tested monthly and replaced every 10 years. By taking all of these precautions, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician when dealing with electrical wiring.